Hey everyone, this is Jessica with K&A Greenhouse. This is one of 3 different PowerPoint presentations regarding the new plants that we're getting into the nursery yard in 2025. So there's one for the new evergreens, there's one for the new shrubs, and this one is the presentation about the new trees for this season that we hope to see um, in the spring or early summer this year. Our first new tree for us this season is called Native Flame, which is a blue beech, or other common name is musclewood. The blue beech is a Wisconsin native tree. So because this is a variety of the native, it is a native var for Wisconsin. The mature size on this is about 25 to 30 feet tall. It'll be about 20 feet wide, so it's not quite a columnar tree. It does have a pyramid-shaped growing habit with the canopy. This particular tree actually prefers part sun, part shade, about 4 to 6 hours of full sun a day, or if you have it in a dappled kind of like forest setting, that's actually where it is most native to, is kind of in the understory of a forest. So that would work out really well for it as well. As a note, it is a slower growing tree, so I would not expect it to reach full size for quite a number of years. It At my house, I have a couple of different varieties, and I have the native, and it puts on, depending on the year, puts on between 4 to 8 inches a year, and that's pretty much what it maxes out as. So the photo here you can see is actually the fall color of the tree. It is going to be green in spring and summer, and then it changes to this nice orange red in the fall. It will actually be more orange if you put it in full shade. It has more of the different orange and red if you put it in more of the part sun, dappled sun. Um, the other note is this one is hardy to zones 5 to 8. So it's okay here in the Madison area, but just make sure that you are in its hardiness zone if you're a little bit further north for us. This new tree is a Katsura tree, which we have had in the past. This variety, though, we have not had. It's called Hannah's Heart. I do not have a lot of this variety. It's one of the trees that are pretty new to the market, so there's not a lot of supply. This one is great if, especially, you're on a city lot that doesn't have a lot of space in between you and your neighbors. Mature size is going to be about 20 to 25 feet tall, but it's only going to be about 15 feet wide. So could also be closer to 10 feet here in the northern climates. We get this tree in from one of our suppliers out west. So their size that they give is 10 to 15 feet. I'm assuming it'll be closer to the 10-foot range for us here in the northern climates. Katsura trees generally prefer full sun. They can handle part shade. Speaking from experience, I have 3 different varieties of Katsura trees on my property, and all but one of, well, 2 of the 3 are in a part shade area. They also are juglow tolerant. I have the 2 that are in the shadier spots underneath. If you watched any of my previous videos, they're underneath my grandma tree that I call it. It's the biggest walnut tree that we have on the property. So I feel like if it's okay living underneath that, it'll be definitely juglow tolerant. So as you can tell by the sizing, it does have a columnar growing habit. This one is also kind of a slow to moderate growth rate depending on the soil type that you have. They grow slower in clay soils. So at my house, it's not a very fast grower, but if you have sandier soils that's a little bit more loose, or loamy soils that are really nice and rich with nutrients, they will grow a little bit faster for you. The leaves on this one, you can't see it. I didn't do a close-up of the leaves here, but the spring and summer color is kind of a blue-green, and then in the fall they change to an orange-yellow depending on the light and how stressed they are and what the season was like. And for some people, if they pick up a leaf from a Katsura tree that has dropped on the ground after in fall in October, they can crush it and it will smell like cinnamon to them. One of my coworkers said that it smelled like marshmallow to them. So either way, it has a kind of a sweet fragrance. And this one, like I said, is juglow tolerant. Also, it's a little bit hardier than the straight Katsura tree. So this particular variety is hardy to zone 4B. Not sure if it's actually hardy to zone 4A. I'm guessing at this time we're being a little bit cautious about saying 4A. So if you know that you're in 4B or 5, this one would definitely work for you at your property. And the second Katsura tree variety that will be coming in new for us this year is called Cool Cat. That name comes because it is the hardiest of all of the Katsura trees that we offer, hardy to zone 3. So this variety would be able to do well in all of the state, in all of Wisconsin here. Again, it's jugloan tolerant as all the other ones are. This one is listed as having a medium to fast growth rate. Since it's so new on the market, I obviously don't have it at my property yet. I probably will by the end of the year. But this one, if it is a faster grower, it'll fill in faster for you. The mature size on it is 35 to 40 feet instead of a shorter like the previous slide. And it's going to be 20 to 25 feet wide, so it's going to need a little bit more room than the previous slide as well. Full sun to part shade again. Has that same kind of heart-shaped leaf, blue-green coloring in the spring and in the summer, and then again in the fall it'll change to that orange or yellow with the cinnamon odor or marshmallow odor when it's crushed. So this particular plant, I think we're only able to get 2 at each store. So if you are interested in this one, I would call us or email us ahead of time just to see if we have this in stock. We'll be getting it right in time for opening day. So when we open in mid-April, we should have that available. I'm not sure how long we will have it in stock. It just depends on how popular this variety is for us this year. This one is one of our new eastern redbuds that we're getting this year. I actually saw this one at a hosta grower's place last summer and was obsessed. So I took notes. This one in the next slide, both of them I saw at the hosta grower. I was obsessed as soon as I saw them. The redbud itself we're getting in is either single stem or multi-stem. So we have both types coming in more like a clump form or like the tree form. This one will get to be 15 to 20 feet wide, 15 to 20 feet tall. So it is it has the same growing habit as the redbuds you can see in the photo with the flowers in it. It has kind of like that upward and spreading kind of growing habit. Full sun is best for the flowers here. I do also push the limits with my other redbuds that I have. I've put some of them in part shade and they seem to do just fine. But I would recommend 6 hours or more for someone just to be able to get the flowers the best, and then probably would affect the leaves as well if you don't put them in full sun. This particular variety, Alley Cat, was named that because there was a plantsman who was going out for a walk and he found this tree growing in an alleyway by his house. So called it Alley Cat. This one has, you can see from the photo, the leaves are green and white splotched, almost like someone took a paintbrush and kind of flicked the paint on the leaves. I think it looks really cool. No 2 leaves are going to be alike. And then, as you can see, the flowers, kind of a lavender pink color in spring, right before the leaves come out. And then once the flowers are done, then the leaves will emerge. They will turn yellow in the fall. The redbuds generally do have a faster growing habit. The first couple years they don't do a lot, and then all of a sudden, the 3rd or 4th season, all of a sudden they just really take off and put on a foot or more of growth. The Alley Cat redbud is hardy to zone 5, so just make sure that you are in a 5 to 9 is the range. So just make sure that you're in that range if you decide to plant this at your house. And this was the other one that I saw at the hosta growers, called Carolina Sweetheart. And again, I became obsessed as soon as I saw it. I've actually had a few customers ask for this, and I haven't seen it available from my suppliers until this year. So happy to be able to get this one in. Also have it coming in as both a single stem tree form and the multi-stem clump form. The mature size in this one is going to be more like 20 by 20. Potentially a little bit less here in Wisconsin, but a lot of the eastern redbuds here do still get to be about 20 or 25 feet. So this one, the leaves on it, well, first the lavender pink flowers flower in April, May. The leaves then emerge after the flowers are done, and they're kind of almost, it's a green, a cream, and a pinkish maroon. So to me, if you can't grow a tricolor beech, this would be a decent substitute for it, because both need kind of full sun to part sun. And then this this is hardy to zone 4, so it's a little bit hardier than the alley cat is. You can go a little bit further north with the hardiness on this one. The red buds are also juglone tolerant, so I have 4 different varieties of red buds at my house right now. They're all tolerant of my walnut trees. Obviously, I plan on probably planting both the alley cat and the Carolina sweetheart this year. I just have to figure out where to put it or what grass that I should kill, because obviously if I'm obsessed with these, I'm going to need these at my house too. The Winter King Hawthorn is not a new variety on the market. We just have never gotten it in before. The Winter King has a better disease resistance than some of the other hawthorns will. So a lot of hawthorns you sometimes see get hit with the rust if we have a really wet spring like we did last year. They can also have some insect problems. This one is going to be at least more resistant to the diseases that can afflict a lot of other hawthorn varieties. The Winter King tends to be, you can see in the photo here, more of a clump form or like a lower branching. The ones that we will be getting in are limbed up a little bit higher, so they're going to be more like that single stem tree form. The flowers on them are white in spring, and then they turn into these scarlet red berries later on in the season, which will hang onto the tree through part of the winter. I don't believe that they hang on through the entire winter though. And they have that nice glossy green foliage in the summer. The fall color on this, usually with hawthorns, tends to be kind of a red burgundy color, just depending on how stressed the plant was and the particular variety. This hawthorn also is a drought resistant variety, so once it gets established, it can handle more of a drought situation that we've sort of been seeing. The mature size on this is 20 to 25 feet tall and about the same width, and it does do best in full sun, so it will need at least 6 hours of sun or more per day. Ginkgo is another tree that I have become obsessed with, partially because they do grow under walnut trees again, so they are juglone tolerant. They're also a very old tree. They were found in fossils in the dinosaur times of dinosaurs. So this particular tree has been around for a very long time. Just know that the ginkgo trees that we get in are all male selections. We do not get the female selections in because of their really nasty smelling fruit. So the male selections will not have that, which just makes it easier for everyone. The gold spire I've been trying to get in since I believe it was 2020, potentially 2021. But I'm really happy that I was able to get a few of these varieties in. I will be snagging one of these for myself for sure. It's a columnar. As you can see from the photo, it's tall and skinny. The mature height on it is about 15, maybe 20 feet tall. The width is only going to be about 6 feet wide. So it does do a really good job of just growing upright and not too far out. Full sun to part sun, so at least 4 hours of sun per day. It will not grow that well in full shade. They just get really leggy again. It just doesn't look good. The way, I mean, it's supposed to be a columnar tree, so if you put it in full shade, it's just going to end up floppy and just way too leggy. The ginkgo trees are also nice just because they don't have a lot of insect or disease problems, so you won't have to worry about, spraying or anything like that. And I should note that the photo here shows it in fall color, so in the summer, spring and summer, it will be kind of like that minty green color that all the other ginkgo trees are. And then once fall hits, you'll get this nice golden yellow fall color with that. And gold spire is hardy to zone 4, so quite a bit of the state of Wisconsin will be able to grow this variety at their homes. I got one new crabapple variety this year. It's kind of similar to the Adirondack crabapple tree that we have had for 2 seasons now, I believe. More of an upright grower, not totally columnar, but it's not going to be as wide as some of the other crabapple trees tend to get. This one will be about 20 to 25 feet tall and 10 to 15 feet wide. You can see in the photo it does have more of an upright branching pattern to it. Full sun is best for crabapple trees. Foliage is going to be green in the spring and summer, and then in the fall it changes to what you can see in the photo here with the bright yellow fall color, and it flowers white in spring in May, and then later in the summer it will get the kind of red scarlet colored berries that will hang on usually through November, December. I don't believe this one has persistent berries that will hang on through the winter. Um, the Starlite crabapple tree is also listed as being deer and rabbit resistant, so that's a good thing if you have deer or rabbits. I mean, rabbits aren't really too much of an issue with trees except for girdling around the base, but deer sometimes will nibble on the branches. So this should, if you plant this, this should keep the deer away from this particular tree. And Starlight is also being bred for having really good apple scab resistance, which is a huge problem in Wisconsin with a lot of older varieties. A lot of times you'll see in the spring they look great, they're flowering fantastic, but by August they've lost all or most of their leaves, which is usually due to the fungus apple scab. So if you get Starlight, it's supposed to be more resistant to that problem that we have here. And Starlight is also hardy to zones 2 to 8. So the entire state should be able to grow this particular tree without any sort of problems. So the next two slides are actually very similar plants. I got two ornamental plum trees in, just a little bit different growing habits. So this one, Krauter Vesuvius, it's an ornamental plum that gets the kind of pinkish white flowers in spring as the leaves are coming out. The leaves do stay this kind of purplish maroon color for most of the summer. Full sun is best, especially to maintain that different maroon coloring for the foliage. The mature size on this one is about 20 feet tall and approximately 15 feet wide. It has a little bit more of an upright habit than the next slide you'll see. Ornamental plums are also jugglone tolerant, so they will be able to grow by walnut and butternut trees. This particular Krauter Vesuvius variety is hardy to zones 5 to 9. So again, you'll have to make sure you're in a zone 5 or warmer if you decide that you want to plant this tree. And then this ornamental plum is called Thundercloud. This has been around for a while. I've had customers sometimes ask for it. I've not seen it available from a lot of my suppliers for a few years now. So this one I do believe I actually got in right around 2020, but I was only able to get in, 2 or 3 of them. So this one is going to be a 20-foot tall and 20 feet wide. You can kind of see with the photo on the left there how it does have more of a spreading canopy than the Krauter Vesuvius did. This one is actually hardier also than the Krauter Vesuvius. It's going to be hardy to zones 4 to 9. So this one is hardier a little bit further north than we are here in Madison. Again, it's jugglone tolerant though. The purple foliage hangs on all season long again. The flowers are going to be that same whitish pink color that flower in usually in May, and you'll need that full sun in order to keep that maroon foliage going all season long. And our last new tree for 2025 is this weeping ornamental peach called Weeping Crimson Cascade. This one we're actually getting in a little bit later than most of the other trees. It will be here sometime between Mother's Day and Memorial Day, depending on when we can get a truck to us from the supplier. But until then, the flowers on this are a double kind of apricot pink color. You can see it just basically covers the entire tree. Because it is a weeping tree, it may have a little bit wonky kind of growing habit. The photo I have here, it looks like it has been pruned to kind of keep it more in that normal cascading. I did see some photos from on Google where there's a branch that's shooting out this way, and then there's another one that goes straight up, and then it starts to curve. So it may not always have that uniform weeping cascading unless you keep it pruned a little bit. But we'll see what they look like when they come in. Full sun is best for this plant. The flowers are usually in spring, and then they will actually produce fruit, but it is said that it's not really edible fruit. They won't taste very good. They don't taste like a Contender peach would or a Red Haven peach would. So they don't really recommend that people grow this for edible reasons. It's just more grown for an ornamental peach, kind of just because peach flowers are so pretty. They decided to make it into an ornamental option as well. Peach trees are also juggalo tolerant, so this could be grown around a walnut tree, black walnut tree, or a butternut tree. Hardiness zone is 5 to 9 for this particular plant. And then the full sun, of course. So the mature size is 10 to 12 feet tall, approximately 8 feet wide. It just depends on, again, how you want to prune this one. And that is all that I have for this year for the new trees. Like I said, this is one of 3 videos for the new plants for this season. There's trees, evergreens, and shrubs that are all 3 different pieces to the new plants series. If you have any questions for me, feel free to email me, knagreenhouse@gmail.com. I would just ask that you put "Attention Jessica" in the subject line. We have multiple people that check that email, so that way I know that that email is for me. You can call either of the stores. I tend to be at the Verona store a little bit more often. I am trying to be at the Fitchburg location once or twice a week. Or if you prefer text message, you can text 920-415-4474, and I can answer via text message at that number as well. So I hope to see you out in the nursery yard this year.